Now we have a third expansion on the way for both players, but Pager is in a very huge advantage because it's very early and all these transitioning probes will kick in right about, well, soon, and we'll see that income skyrocket for the Protoss player. Meanwhile, we have another drop doing not necessarily that much damage, another Colossus that probably died here. Stim being used, we're gonna try and take out the Nexus in force field inside. Pager got force field inside his own base by himself. Will the Nexus go down? If the Nexus go down, it's gonna be huge, very nice. This will slow the Protoss economy a lot, and now getting back in, trying to slow this army and maybe save the medevacs. If they use Stim again, they will be able to actually get into the medevacs and run away. That's it, and perfect. That was perfect micro. If we look at the APM, over 200 for Terran 250, so that was brilliant APM, taking out this Nexus, hurting the Protoss economy very bad. If we look at the units lost tab, he is actually now in front with only 6,000 minerals and resources lost. But now the Protoss is going to move across the map. If we look at the army size, the Protoss is in a slight advantage, but the Terran does have a lot of Marauders which are going to decimate the gateway units and this poor Colossus if not microed properly, and the medevacs are just going to heal the Marauders. Now we do have that one ghost. I don't know where that ghost is. Sadly, we haven't seen a second nuke, which makes me kind of sad. And do we have a second Nexus on the way? No. These probes long distance mining. Pager should probably get out his Nexus here again. We'll see if that happens. Macroing up, getting ready to face this Terran ball, which he did see thanks to this observer, and the Terran ball is moving out across the map, and the ghost is here. Yes, hero ghost with 4 kills. He's just a recruit, but he's been through hell so far in this game, and if he gets off some EMPs, this army will be very, very grateful indeed. And they're stimming in and stimming in. There's an EMP and all the stalkers. All the stalkers have lost their shields, and now the Marauders are just going to go to town. But there are a lot of stalkers. The Colossus doing a lot of damage from the distance. Let's see if this will win. The stalkers are down because the Marauders do so much damage to these gateway units, and I don't know, he's focused down the Zealots. I don't think that is actually a good idea. And it did the Ghost side. The Ghost is still here. The Ghost is still alive. But sadly, I think that thanks to a slighter and better positioning from our Pager, our Protoss player Pager, he did manage to survive that and come out in the lead. Units lost very close indeed, 10,000 to 11,050, so there's a very, very small discrepancy of minerals at this point in the game. The main of the Terran almost mined out, but he does have this expansion and this expansion working up. We have a planetary fortress here, so this is very nice indeed. Be able to hold this fortress if it comes under attack. I suppose the Protoss player does suspect that Terran is running off of more than one base. If we look at the production tab, neither player is actually transitioning into anything. Right now the Protoss securing his own expansion. He is low on minerals and low on, well, his army is actually pretty decent, but if we look at over a lot of that is 67 out of that 101 supply is our harvesters, while the Terran is only at 49. Finally, we have some Storm and some High Templars to deal with the Bio Ball, because Storms are slightly better in my opinion than Colossus, because they're instant damage in one spot, while Colossus have to get volley over volley and they can be taken out. Two Storms can be very instant and very quick and very damaging. Coming in here, stimming, we do have some Vikings to try and take care of this the Colossi, but Stalkers are going to defend that, and we do have a Photon Cannon who did, I think, did get a kill. No, it did not. Over one of these Vikings, and one of these Vikings is really in the low and it won't be able to move in here. Get out of there, poor Viking! Oh, and the Viking dies. And now the entire Terran army moving in here because it was distracted. The Protoss army was distracted by the two Marauders, while this army just doing a lot of damage, getting on one Storm, EMP being used, but the Storm has done its damage, but the medevacs are going to be able to heal that up, and another high econ damage, losing another Nexus, getting it right back, which is really good. But sadly, this is going to delay his economy long. Look at this, long distance mining, a choo-choo train of probes. Welcome to the engineering age in early 1800s America. It's called a train. Deal with it. Meanwhile, I don't think that the Terran is actually doing a good job right here, because he's getting mass Marauders. As long as the Protoss doesn't transition into a bigger Immortal build, these Marauders are going to do a lot of damage to these Colossi and Stalkers. I suppose Void Rays, Phoenix would be a nice transition, but sadly the production tab says that we do not have any kind of tech like that. We have a Mobius reactor and more Ghosts, so more EMP, ladies and gentlemen, on the way. Meanwhile, army size that we have the Terran in advantage right now, and in a bigger advantage if we look at the harvester size, just a slight, because now the harvester size has dropped for our Protoss, but the income just soaring for the Terran because of these two orbital commands which do drop mules. And we have, what do we have here, 2 more barracks, so that will be a lot racks. I'm not gonna call it a 6 racks, it's gonna be a lot racks. And all these barracks may be pumping out Marauders is very nice indeed. Another EMP on the Protoss army, losing all their shields, and now this big Marauder ball moving in here. Storms and Colossi will be able to do a lot of AoE damage. We'll see if the Marauders are able to pull that off. We do have Archons here to tank out a lot of damage. Stim being used to get out of the way. This poor Viking doing some damage to the Colossus, but if these Stalkers focus it down, and they probably will right about now, and it dies. And the Marauders just being forced back because of this huge build and a very nice composition, having a few Templars and Colossus doing a lot of damage to the Terran. Even though the Terran is still in a advantage economically speaking, he's only lost 14,000 resources. Yes, that is only 14,000, while the Protoss 15,000. There is only less than 1,000 resources difference. We have a scan going down to see what will happen, so he'll know that there is no push. We'll try to macro up. He gets Hellions. I don't know that Hellions are such a good idea, and a brand new expansion for our Terran player, securing his 4th base, but his main is mined out, so technically it's his 3rd, and still no expansion on his natural, and still no high yield for either player. The Protoss sadly has taken a lot of economical damage and has been delayed economically a lot. We finally have another nuke on the way, and Caldarian amulets, so we're gonna have a more storms, and we also have Protoss weapons level 3, so that is going to make this army very dangerous indeed, especially the Stalkers, Zealots, and the Archons. Yes, and even the Archons. The Terran army is finally and slowly uniting and will soon push forward. We have a scan to get an observer, but oh, very nice. The Protoss army is caught off the position, and sadly these Colossus are gonna fall. One Colossus falls, storm, and the second Colossus falls, and more storms, but these medevacs are going to heal through that, so this is very good. And the Protoss army was just caught out of position, more storm, everything here is in the red, even the medevacs, but a nice heals getting off. And now moving in here is a very good plan indeed. He managed to poke out a lot of units, but there are some photon cannons. There is a nuke. If this nuke will land, will it land? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not even gonna pay attention to this. Another EMP here, taking out a few shields. This is very dangerous indeed. Come on, will the nuke land? Will the nuke land? It's so close, so close. Will it take out a lot of this army? And sadly it doesn't. So close. It did some economical damage, destroying a pylon and empowering the Templar Archives, but the nuke sadly did not do that much damage. And I don't think we have any ghosts left. No, we do not. Sadly, all the ghosts died, even my favorite ghost. And storms being used very wisely, catching the Terran position very bad. Stimming in here, trying to run in here. I don't know, maybe he could pick off some pylons, but a very nice Templar was warped in, and another storm taking out even more Marauders. What's he gonna do? Mount up and move out, because that's all he can do. We have more Marauders coming in here to meet these medevacs, and very nice because the Terran is keeping up his harass and forcing the Protoss player to pump out units and not secure his base. But he has secured the Nexus down here, but no mining whatsoever right now. Getting back to the fight, these Marauders have eaten a storm, I think, and are fighting this Legrand army. So right now we have a lot of action on the map. If we look at the APM right now, I think the Protoss just took his hand off the mouse because he is just too tired to actually fight, and it is. But now we're kicking into high gear again. 300 APM, 200 APM. The Terran moving in here, taking out a pylon. It is unpowering the photon cannon, which is very wise. Now, will it be able to snipe the Nexus? If he snipes the Nexus again, it will be very, very, very nice indeed. Come on, will the Nexus go down? And it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. Very grats to our Protoss player, to Pager, for keeping that Nexus alive. And we have another attack from Terran player moving in here, unpowering. Did he empower something? No, he didn't. He should probably probably take out some pylons, try to supply block his opponent, just getting off random shots, but sadly his opponent is Protoss, so all those random shots are doing is attacking shield. These two Marauders being left behind as sacrificial lambs. Sadly they won't be able to do anything, and they're getting charged in the face. I'm sorry Marauders, there was just no room for you on the flight back. I think that we're gonna have a break. Please, Terran, Pager, have mercy on my